Diary. The strangest moment of my life happened these past few weeks. It all started one morning when I was walking through the farm and some strange man was running full speed from the woods. I called out to him and asked if everything was okay, but it took him a second to understand what I said. By the time I got a look at his stature, he was worse for wear. If I had to guess, I could only assume that he had been running the whole night. He was pale and had bags under his eyes, and when I asked where he had come from, he struggled to say the name. Sleepy Hollow is where he'd been running from. He didn't tell me more, just that he had quit his teaching job there and was looking for new work.
Think I'm alright.
After that, he collapsed. I think it was a miracle he was able to even speak with me that long. I called Father out to help carry him inside where he could rest. Before I even knew the poor man's name, he was sound asleep on my bed. I watched over him to make sure he was doing okay, but he didn't wake up for hours. When he did eventually rise, he woke up almost screaming. Some nightmare, I think. He kept clawing at his neck like he couldn't breathe. Anyway, I did get his name not too much longer after he had something to eat. Ichabod Crane. I asked if I could get him something, anything, and he only asked for a storybook. At first I thought it was a little silly, but then remembered he said he was previously a teacher. I think it was a little strange for a teacher to be in a farming country such as this, but maybe times are changing. Maybe there will be more women who can read and write like I can in the not-so-distant future. When he left that evening, he reached up for a hat that wasn't there, and I only giggled as he bowed farewell. Come the following afternoon, he returned to our door and asked if I could show him around town. I wanted to ask where exactly he had been staying the previous night, but he showered me in compliments as soon as I opened my mouth. I only assumed that this was his way of trying to court me, so I played along. I showed him the little town that I've been calling home for as long as I can remember, and it was a pleasant way to spend the day. He made the same mistake that he did before and reached up for a hat that wasn't there. So, when we went our separate ways, I went to buy him a hat that I could give him. When I eventually saw him again, I gifted it to him, and I don't think I've ever seen a man any happier. Ichabod continued to live in this town, acquiring a job in teaching and visiting me regularly. I was growing quite fond of him and wondered if he'd ever pop the question. I think it took my father less time to propose to my mother than with how long Ichabod was taking it. It didn't bother me, though. The innocent glances and touches were invigorating, to say the least, although it came crashing down one fateful evening. Ichabod seemed to enjoy my cooking, insisting that every meal he had should be made by my own hands. So I thought that I should make something for him out of the kindness of my heart. With winter rolling around, the last of the harvest was about to go bad, so I used whatever was left to make dessert. When the sun was just about to set, the man of the evening came over, but his reaction to my handiwork wasn't one I was expecting. When I presented the pie I had made for him, he froze up, and I watched his eyes go wide. He stared at the pie for what felt like ages. And he didn't look away until I called his name. When I asked what was wrong, he stammered and bowed the way he always did when saying farewell. It confused me, since he had only just arrived, but he left in such a hurry he forgot to close the door. I haven't seen him since. I went as far as to look for him at the schoolhouse, but they said he hasn't shown up either. It's been quite a few days, and it's left me wondering, what exactly is it about pumpkin pie that startled him into disappearing?